Hello everyone, my name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Colette. After marrying a successful Parisian writer known commonly as Willie, Sidonie Gabrielle Colette is transplanted from her childhood home in rural France to the intellectual and artistic splendor of Paris. Soon after, Willie convinces Colette to ghostwrite for him. She pens a semi-autobiographical novel about a witty and brazen country girl named Claudine, sparking a bestseller and a cultural sensation. After its success, Colette and Willie become the talk of Paris, and their adventures inspire additional Claudine novels. Colette's fight over creative ownership and gender roles drives her to overcome societal constraints, revolutionizing literature, fashion, and sexual expression. This is a 2017 film. It's rated R. It runs an hour and 50 minutes, and it stars Keira Knightley and Dominic West. Colette. Well, first off, this movie just kind of came up on my list, and I had no idea what it was about, and so I stuck it in the player, and from the looks of the cover, it looked like a girl who could be a mass murderer or something. I didn't know. So when I found out it was kind of olden times, we're talking about the late 1800s, early 1900s here, I was fine with it. I was fine with the idea of a movie like that, so I was interested. And when I saw Keira Knightley, I was like, man, I think that's Keira. This is totally the movie for her. Like, this is right up her alley. After she's done Pirates of the Caribbean and this, it's just what's natural for her. It just fits her. She's able to shine. She's able to impress. She doesn't really have to act too much because she's just so right for a role like this. So I kind of enjoyed watching her be natural and impress and all that stuff. So I get into the movie, and I was kind of starting out, being fine with the movie and seeing that it's about writing and it's about two people getting married and, things. I'm fine with the whole having her ghostwrite for him concept that it says on the sleeve. And we're talking about an olden time in a foreign country here, that the girl just was kind of honored to find a husband, and so she's kind of stuck in that situation no matter what happened, and he very much controlled, and took pride in the fact that, he had all control. So then I start writing down things after a little while. The first thing I just wrote down was a little snippet, but is about mentioning toothpaste, and it was out of the blue. And so I actually Googled when toothpaste was created, and I guess it was created around 1850, so it fits the timeline of this movie, but like it wasn't put into mass produce and like sold everywhere until like 1890. So it's really close on the fringe of what the time that we're talking about in this movie. And I just don't know if everybody would have had it. And, it's kind of nice for them to throw that in there. But I think it's right on the fringe line of everybody around the world having toothpaste. So it was close. It was just a little thing. It just kind of bothered me. I didn't know if, they threw out a bunch of references throughout the movie that were not time appropriate or what. But heard a couple bad words, but I know the French kind of invented those. So then we get into the whole crappy marriage factor of this movie. And, when you're in an arranged kind of situation in the olden days in a foreign country, things might not be perfect. So I kind of expected that, I was prepared for that. But some of the stuff that starts going on in this marriage is just like unbelievable that, these people had to make a movie about this and they had to put in the stuff that they put. It's just kind of shocking. And us Americans can say what we want about the French, and then somebody makes a movie like this it just kind of confirms our fears, that all French are like this or something. And that's not a right way to think, but it's just kind of like, this is the prototypical movie of what I think, French might have been like the last, how many years. This was 1890, we're in 2019. So it's just kind of weird, and I don't know if that was the norm back then. I don't know if that's the norm now, but, then they get into the whole thing that they're okay with cheating. Like they just, he obviously has other partners. She stays with him. They both start sleeping with different people. They stay together. It's like an agreement. It's a business deal. And that actually gets mentioned later in the movie. And it's very much what it is. And I just don't think that's going to be how a lot of kind of higher society people are. But, it's like you're just wondering as a viewer why she wouldn't leave him. She has plenty of chances. There are many different things that happen. And, being higher society, you figure it could just happen pretty easily. It's not like she's trapped completely. She just, they're just in a situation where they're starting to get a little famous and stuff. So maybe they felt like they had to stay together for looking right, The whole sexual thing, there's a lot in this movie that probably shouldn't have been in this movie. Because it's just it shows them sleeping with other people. I just didn't think it was very necessary. And then you start wondering if she's ever going to get credit for helping him out with all these stories and stuff. And that doesn't come until the end credits. And so I was a little disappointed in that. I would have appreciated a little bit more of the movie being about her being successful on her own. It starts to trend that way towards the end, but there's a huge twist at the end. But, I just could have appreciated more of the actual Colette, success story instead of just all this hardship she went through her whole life. So maybe somebody will end up making more of a movie about her actual life after she was married to this Willie, because I could appreciate that. This one was a little hard to watch. So I was interested most of the time. I'll be honest. I was a little looking at my watch, the second half of it. It kind of drew on. It kind of had the same things occurring, and it just Willie was being a jerk. Colette wasn't doing anything. I got a little tired of it. So I'm going to give this movie, I'm going to give it a C. And this is the kind of movie that you either really want to watch or you just have no interest. And so I think it's a mid-range kind of movie when that stuff like that happens. So a C for Colette. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.